Welcome back to the 2022 Chiefs Challenge here at Lions Park in Simcoe, Ontario, as we move to the 6 p.m. game, Hill United Chiefs and the Bear Creek Express. I've got a new broadcast partner, Blair Setford here, and now Chris Abbott joining me as he makes his way in from the Greater Toronto area. And Chris, over here as we look into the camera, you're just fresh out of Las Vegas. Was there any wagering on the Chiefs Challenge while you were out there?
There was not. I wish there was. We did have some at Coolbet for the ISC World Tournament last year, so we'll see if we get it again. I didn't know we were on camera, Blair. I would have done my hair.
Would have done your hair. That's nice. I like that one. I'm glad that you're ready for it. We are ready for a good one here. This is the Pool A, I guess if you will, action between the Hill United Chiefs and the Bear Creek Express. Everybody right now in this pool, Chris, is 1-1. And this game right here, the winner of this will obviously go to 2-1. Behind us, Toronto Batmen and Niagara Stompers are tied 2-2 late in that one. The winner of that will go to 2-1 in this pool as well. And somebody is going to go home at 1-2 on a tiebreaker and not get to participate in the playoffs. And who's that going to be? We'll have to wait and find out until this is all over with. But we got a good one right here, right now. Sean Cleary on the board for the Bear Creek Express against the visiting Hill United Chiefs.
And Shane Bolden leads things off for Hill United. We'll run down the lineup in just a moment. I believe the count is 2-1 on the third baseman for the Chiefs. Rise ball is poked into left field, settling under it, and making the catch is Quentin Bruce for out number one.
Ride, and Chris, you'll notice here that the fences are deep, the outfields are big. 275 to the base of the fence, and then you got to get it over that 6-foot fence as well. Ty Sebastian put one out earlier this afternoon off of Adam Fulford. We've seen a number to the track and off the base of the fence. But Ty's, to my knowledge, the only one to make it out right now.
It's a nice night here in Simcoe. Not a breath of air anywhere to be had. So tough day to be Sean Cleary on the mound, draped in black. Not his first time doing that, though. It's Bruno Matroni, the catcher, steps in with one down. And it's just over the inside corners, screwing back in toward Matroni for strike one.
Saw Sean last night for Bear Creek as they rode roughshod over the Toronto Batmen yesterday, 5-1. Sean had 17 Ks in that game. He was very dominant and looked really good doing it.
Drop ball center cut, and I wonder if that was a mix-up between Cleary and Bolin. It's strike two, but Ryan looks like he wasn't ready to catch that as he shakes the pain off the left hand.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I wonder if they cross each other up there because he was shaking out a mitt full of bumblebees.
Change up outside and well outside for ball one. A little knuckle action.
I was just going to say that because he threw half a dozen of them the other night, and I had not seen Sean do that before. He threw half a dozen of them, and I don't think between them they had more than 2 or 3 rotations. It was something to see.
Yeah, you could read the Rawlings coming in. Yeah. We got a great vantage point here, Blair. Right behind Ryan Bolin. That's tagged, but well fouled down the left side. Speaking of well fouled, there's plenty of room in foul territory here at Lions Park.
Yeah, there is no fence that goes down the out of play line, so there's a chalk line between the end of the outfield fence to the end of the dugout, and you can't go past that. But there's probably 30 feet of acreage between the foul line and the out of play side.
And so what's the ground rule? Are you allowed to keep going?
You can catch it and carry it out, but it would be a base, the same as if you caught it and carried it over a fence, basically. But you have to catch it before you go past that line.
Okay, so you're not allowed to run halfway back to the 403, make the grab, and then call it an out? No, okay. No. All right. Because I'd try that if it was an option.
Well, it's not a bad idea.
2-2 count on the veteran Hill United catcher, but I think I can just keep the word veteran in my back pocket today because this lineup is littered with them up, both and down. Change up, strike three, quickly 2 away in the top of the first inning.
Well, it's a really world-class change-up there from Sean Cleary. It wasn't the knuckleball, it was more the drop spin, and it just fell off the table at the plate. Bruno Matroni over the top of it. Nothing you can do with that pitch.
Brad Essigo steps in with 2 down. Now, I'm sure that you've talked about this throughout the weekend so far, but when I saw the line score last night, very surprised to see Essigo here because the last thing I saw from him was in the maternity ward. Brand new baby at home.
Brand new baby at home. He's not the only one. Adam Falkard with a 2-week-old at home as well, back in Australia. The other line score that you may have seen on Twitter, of course, was Bradley in the St. John's League is hitting .833.
That doesn't surprise me.
7 home runs in 12 at bats.
7 home runs and 12 at bats.
Slow pitch numbers for Bradley in the best league in Canada.
Drop ball, strike 1, and Ryan Boland's seen plenty of Brad, but they play on the same team back in St. John's. Ben Full was on the circuit, though, basically the whole way through. Rise ball catches the outside corner, strike 2, low rise from Cleary.
You see a lot of movement from Ryan Boland, moving left, moving right, moving back, left, not wanting to give away location. You got a great shot of it there from our center field camera here on Softball Premier TV. You can see the sign going down, and then you watch Boland where he'll go for location.
Another one of those knuckle changes. I like you mixing it in early in the year.
Well, it's an interesting pitch, and I don't know if Sean throws that in the St. John's League. But if he and Bradley are getting, look number 7,432 in their career against each other, you might as well try something different.
Yeah, I got to say, it's great to be back at the ballpark. It's been a couple of years for me, haven't seen these guys play, so this is exciting. Brad's not going to chase that. Rise ball 1 and 2.
And we heard that a lot over the last couple of weeks. It's exciting to be back at the ballpark. And, for those who are joining us literally around the world, we thank you for tuning in. And it's been our pleasure to bring you some great ball games here. And we're going to bring you this one and 3 more. We've got an 8 o'clock game tonight and then a semifinal and a final tomorrow on Championship Sunday here at the Chiefs Challenge.
Rise ball inside, ball 2. This pivotal first inning started well for Sean Cleary. He got Shane Boland to fly out to left. Strikeout of Bruno Matroni, who chased a couple balls low. Got ahead early on Brad Essigo. Now he's worked himself back into this count as Nick Shales waits on deck, hoping he gets a turn with a runner on. It's a high drop outside, full count.
Just off the outside corner.
We've had some good setups in our day, and I wonder if I'm just a little offset because I'm getting a great look at everything coming in. We'll see what it's like with a left-handed batter, but it's fantastic.
Well, we gave you the primo seat as we knew you were coming down.
Low rise ball is sent deep and foul into the farmer's fields, beyond
that was
the
on
boundary.
Its way to a tobacco field somewhere.
I didn't even know where the ball went. That's how far he hit it, yeah. Another change up or change drop. Anyway, I'll change the speed as it goes just a little out front. Fouls it back into the shin pads of Ryan Boland.
Great spin rotation on that from Sean Cleary. That true 12-6 drop ball rotation. None of that side-to-side bullet spin that people like to claim might be a screwball. Of course, we know it's not, but that was pure drop ball magic there from Sean Cleary. Grand Prairie won the last one.
That's going to be low on a drop, and Brad Esical works his way back into the count to find a walk, and we'll get our first base runner of this one.
See, there was a final behind us. We'll have to wait for the score sheet to come over. That has, whoever won that has some big implications for the standings in this particular pool.
Hope you brought your abacus, Blair. We got to figure out what's going on here later.
Have an abacus, yes.
Now, Joe actually uses an abacus.
I think he does. He carries one with him.
First pitch to Shales is a low rise ball grabbed at second by Brandon Horn, and the Hill United Chiefs are retired on the top of the first. No damage done off the Esical walk.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports. Focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product, Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.com.
It's out. Yeah. Pablo Migliavaca toes the slab for the Hill United Chiefs in the bottom of the first inning, and he will face this lineup sent in by Paul Chico McCart. Colin Walsh leads off in right field. Brandon Horn at second base. Tyler Paulai is the DP in this game. And Derek Mason, the third baseman, will back cleanup. Quentin Bruce, who we already have seen making a defensive play in the top, bats fifth. Jeff Lyons is over at first. Ryan Boland bats seventh, is catching. Joey Dockstader, my first view, looking forward to seeing the shortstop, who's batting eighth. And playing the eighth position, batting ninth, is Jordan Pomeroy. And, you know, I got to say it, Blair, I'll get it out of the way. Lots of Newfoundland content in this game.
Indeed, lots of Newfoundland content. Lots of Argentina content as well. Bruno Matroni, Pablo Migliavaca, Alan Pecker. Pablo came on in relief last night for the Chiefs and their win over the Toronto Batmen, and just looked real impressive. He was throwing a changeup that had probably a 12 to 15 inch break left to right. On our radio dial, as we look at it from the center field camera, it would be right to left, and nobody could touch that pitch last night. You couldn't see it coming, and then with the break that he had on him, it was virtually unhittable.
Well, he starts Colin Walsh off with two drop balls, one in, one out, one ball, one strike. And Walsh just keeps getting better, Blair. I mean, he came on the scene, made Team Canada quite young in Whitehorse, then had the disappointment of being left off the next time around, but kind of took that as a challenge, I think, and he's certainly upped his game, and now he's among the elite in the world.
Well, he has been named the MVP in the last two playoffs in the best league in Canada, the St. John's League down in Newfoundland and Labrador, and he is absolutely full value and earned his way right back into the Team Canada books. He was one of their better players down in Parana.
He chases a drop ball outside. That's chopped over to Tony Gonzalez at second, and Walsh is retired 4-3. So Brandon Horn, a name plenty of you would be familiar with, absent from the international stage a little bit, but Here he is playing second base, batting second, a very familiar spot for him in the order. Also wearing his very familiar number 3.
Well, with COVID, with the 2 years off, it's almost like Brandon really only took 1 year off because after 2018, that was it. But the lure of coming back and the opportunity to play locally with guys like Sean and Ryan and Derek Mason and then youngsters like Tyler Paulai, enough to get Brandon Horn out of retirement, and great to see him too. And it looks like he's not lost a beat.
Softball only second to professional wrestling where guys retire, but you know they're really not retired. Horn chops this one. It's going to be a tough play and a top hop by Tony Gonzalez. The throw takes Mullally away from first. Don't know that it mattered. I think we'll have to give Brandon Horn an infield single.
I fully agree there. Great play by Tony Gonzalez to come get it. Brandon Horn just too quick. Mullally was off the bag, as he said. But Brandon Horn, I think, was going to be there.
We are not the official scorers, I don't believe. But if we were, we'd give that a single.
Though. We are influential.
Tyler Paulai comes in, the designated player this evening. And with one out, he chases a drop ball from Pablo Migliovaca. So all down all the time so far from double sevens on the mound. You mentioned I was in Vegas. The 7 was very good to me this week.
7's very good to you indeed. Tyler Paulai, the DP, he injured his thumb down in Paraná in Argentina and can't put the glove on it right now. He can swing the bat just fine. He was up to his usual tricks with 3 home runs last week at the ISC Canada's qualifier. Barely edged out his dad for the family home run title. His dad had 2 in the Legends division. Jeff will tell you he had 2 in 3 games. It took Tyler 5 to get his.
Well, if we're doing it on a percentage basis, we'll give it to Dad. Interesting meeting on the mound after that changeup for strike 2. Brought all the Heel United guys in to maybe get together. No pitch comm being used, I guess, as we've seen some I don't know, it's miscommunication or ironing out communications here early on both sides. He's going to leave that one down, and so far everything down, drop and change. It kind of lets the hitter focus his view in one particular direction. Now do you blush one up on the letters? Inside and a little hard drop ball from Migliovaca.
Tyler, the reigning ISC Canada East Player of the Year, had a great World Tournament, strong Canadians, strong at the Ontario Challenge Cup, and a solid choice for the Player of the Year award, his second only in his young career.
First rise balls drift into center field, hard turn by Horn. Esgel tries to check him coming back to the bag, and it's back-to-back singles for Bear Creek here in the bottom of the first.
Well, Bear Creek got something cooking. They changed up the order here a little bit. Horn has been batting leadoff for the Express, and they got shut out this afternoon by the Niagara Stompers team. Pittarona shut them down 4-0, so that's how they're 1-1, as they were victorious last night over Toronto. But Toronto now with a 3-2 win over Niagara, maybe in the driver's seat for first place in the division. We'll see how things continue to shake out here over the course of this game.
Derek Mason steps in, runners on first and second. He's going to squib one to the left side. Nick Shales saves a run, but it's going to be the 3rd single in a row for Bear Creek, and now Quentin Bruce steps in, bases loaded, just 1 out. I thought that was getting through. I mean, Shales gets there.
Yeah, Nick Shales probably went, I want to say, at least 15 feet and maybe more to his right to extend a glove down and keep that from getting out on the grass. And you're absolutely right, because otherwise Brandon Horn just turns the corner and keeps on motoring.
Well, big opportunity for Bear Creek to get on the board early in this one, as Adam Folkert continues to loosen up down the right side. Migliavacca's going to need to get an out. He's going to be pitching for a strikeout here with one away. First pitch is a drop ball. That caught more of the plate than he wanted, but it was still low, and it's ball one, just trying to go outside.
Quentin Bruce has got some pop up there in the plate. He has emerged from junior as a full-fledged and capable hitter here at the ISC level, not to be trifled with.
It's a drop ball that is also low for ball two. And now Migliavacca unable to find his zone with a drop ball. Getting the rise ball hit, it's a precarious situation as we start this game.
Well, you don't want to give in here. You don't want to get beat on your second or third best pitch. So if you can find a way to work that change-up in, haven't seen a lot of it yet. But that one up in the zone and a healthy cut from Bruce and just fouled that off.
So Blair, you mentioned the Batman now sitting at 2-1. This game becomes crucial. If we get two teams tied at 2-1, winner advances.
If they're two, yeah, then it's just head-to-head. So if the Chiefs, for example, were to win, then the Batmen and the Chiefs, the Batmen would be first in the division. If it is the Bear Creek Express who come out on top, they beat the Batmen last night, so Bear Creek would win the division. Presumably then you're into a three-way tie with the Stompers, the Chiefs, and the Batmen. The Stompers and the Chiefs. The Chiefs won that one, so.
Oh boy, I'm just gonna wait for somebody to show me the schedule.
Well, I'm speculating a bit, so don't take that on as gospel. But I think if you've got two at 2-1 and two at 1-2, then it actually is pretty easy because it will just be the head-to-head.
Strike two and a big pitch for Pablo Migliavacca. Get him back in this count now, 2-2.
Yeah, and I will say this, Chris, for the Bear Creek Express, it's win or go home the way I would interpret the tiebreaker. Because if they fall to 1-2, they lost to the Stompers earlier today, so they would be fourth in the division.
Wow, so when you win the division, lose, you're out.
Again, that's my...
That makes sense.
Yeah,
the head-to-head moves you through. The head-to-head knocks you out as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the way I would interpret it. For the Chiefs, on the other hand, if they win, they will finish second because they lost to the Batmen. If they lose, they would be tied with the Stompers, but they would finish third on the strength of their victory last night over the Stompers.
And then we move on from here. It's second versus third crossover, and the winner of those games play the first place teams.
Yeah, and I think the Gremlins have got first place locked up in the other division, and Bear Creek still has to play a game to finish. They got the Niagara Snappers over there right now. The Snappers, by with the virtue of that win over Oswegan, I think the worst they can finish is third. So it looks like they should make the playoffs with that upset extra innings win this morning over Oswegan.
I love it. Good old-fashioned tournament ball here in July. A lot of scoreboard watching, a lot of we need to do this. I mean, it's always simple. You keep winning and you're good, but it's always fun for the fans. Drop ball chases strike three, and that is a huge out for Pablo Migliavacca, as we alluded to before the at-bat started.
With 2 outs, the batter is the first baseman, number 44, Jeff Lyons.
He wanted to hold up, couldn't do it.
Well, good battle there by Pablo Migliavacca. You know, he brought the ball up, and we saw that Bruce had a good hack at it, and just stuck to his gun, stuck to his best pitches.
Jeff Lyons with 2 down, and the bases loaded. Pressure still very squarely on the shoulders of Pablo Migliavacca. First pitch in the dirt. Another drop ball for a ball.
Well, a week ago we saw this very situation against Huemo Mata, and Jeff Lyons, bases loaded, smashed one between the first baseman and the bag. It was a triple. Tied the game. That was in the championship game. He later came around to score. That was the difference. Jeff Lyons, the hero there. We'll see how this one turns out tonight.
He'll chase 1-1. It's funny, you know, you say the pressure's on Migliavacca. Lions feels the pressure. The pressure's on everybody here.
Raise the ante.
And I will say, I was talking about the view. The left-handed batter's not so good for me. You probably get the better view of the pitches there.
Well, I think Luciano's got the best seat on the left side for the left-handed batters. I'm kind of stuck here in the middle with jokers on my right and clowns to my left.
Hey, man. It's been a while since we've done this. This is good. Chases down and away. Strike 2. Pablo Migliavacca, 1 strike from getting his team back into that first base dugout with a whole lot of pats on the back if he can get out of this.
And this could be one of those early, you know, momentum changers.
Outside, ball 3. Start the carousel.
Nowhere to put him. Everybody about to be on the move. And Adam Folkert continues to play soft toss down the line.
Chop foul. Let's do it again. As Brandon Horn makes it all the way into home plate, he'll make the 37-foot walk back to third base. I measured that, you know.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got laser eye surgery earlier this year. I can see now.
Can
It's
see
fantastic.
things, yeah.
All this still the first inning. Chance for Bear Creek to open it up. But Migliavacca closes it down. Back-to-back strikeouts to get out of the inning. And after all that, we'll go to the second scoreless.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
Steve Mullally, the pride of freshwater Newfoundland and Labrador, leads off. Thomas Sunoco bats second. Tony Gonzalez will bat third here in the top of the second inning against Sean Cleary.
Well, Chris, both the managers have put the lineups into a blender, and it's a bit of a shakeup. Thomas Sunoco was up in the 2 spot earlier and back into the 6 hole now. This looks a little bit more similar to what they started with last night. Tony Gonzalez, Jason Hill swapping spots, and then Pecker down in the 9 hole. So who do you give the advantage to here? These guys have known each other their whole lives, played with and against each other for the last 15 years, Team Canada, the club teams. Is there an advantage here in this situation?
No, I don't think so. I think they both give their best, and whoever gets lucky in that particular outcome Sean knows that Steven is prone to go hack at the first pitch, so he throws one 8 feet high. Mullally knows that Sean knows that he doesn't swing. Now, you mentioned the 15 years. We're really talking 20 plus, right back to the days of Squirt, where these guys are the same age, 1 year in the difference, I believe. So these guys have played each other all the way. I guess you don't call it Squirt or anything like that.
No,
you
I think we're
whatever
down to like
now,
U10
right?
or something like that. But back in the day, it was Squirt and then Pee Wee and
don't want to
Bantam and
offend
Midget.
people.
Yes.
Oh, definitely don't want to talk about the U16 name. It's 2-0.
From Ryan Boland. It is the cat and mouse game, as you said. We know Steve will occasionally chase up, but you don't want to leave one in the zone either.
Well, you talk about Sean and Steve. The other factor in there is Ryan Boland, who's calling the pitches. He's not getting shaken off. Change up, strike 2. And the Voltairans on the right side of the dugout when you go back, Steve. That's a great pitch call. That was right in the zone, too.
Yeah,
that
that
could have
was right
went
there.
500 feet.
Yeah.
And a traditional drop ball's chopped high. This is going to be tough for Horn, but he doesn't get it done. Charlie would be coming out with the earmuffs asking for a review, I think, there, if that's an option.
I
We
think
got a
we're
review.
We're going to see the review right here.
Now batting
Bang, bang.
Boy, that is bang, bang indeed.
number 20.
We don't have a different view, but yeah, you make the call, 50-50.
I mean, from my vantage point, I would have said out, but I've never been known to be a good umpire. We'll call it an infield single for Steve Mullally. That'll up the batting average a little bit, and Thomas Anoka comes in with the leadoff runner on. And Anoka showed bunt.
Well, and this is the difference between Jeff Ellsworth and John Hill running through the signs over at third base. Ellsworth a little bit more traditional, by the book, willing to bunt early in the innings and try and scratch one out, playing a little bit of small ball. Not what the Chiefs have traditionally done.
This is popped up foul straight behind us. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Blair, you and I have had this discussion. Well, actually, we haven't had it that many times because I think I got frustrated having it with you. You're more of the John Hill mindset. Get up there and have your hacks.
Well, especially early in the inning or early in the game. I don't want to give up an out. I don't need to give up an out early in the game to take out the bat out of the hands of a guy like Thomas Anoka, who traditionally has seen Sean Cleary well. And you just, you got to be a history type thing here too, right? I mean, if it's somebody who doesn't see Sean well, then by all means, sure, be willing to put the bunt on. But it's the second inning. I don't see the need for it right here, right now.
And an inside rise ball puts Anoka in control of this count at 2-1. Inside changeup, 3-1 now, and yeah, I guess not bunting so far looks pretty good.
Well, you're in a good count here, and like I said, this is a guy who has had a pretty good history against Sean when you go back to several of the international competitions. They were actually teammates for several years in the mid-teens, 14, 15, 16.
Champions at that.
That is a fact.
Drop ball, low ball 4. And now it's first and second for Tony Gonzalez. And now does your theory change? Do you put 2 guys in scoring position for Jason Hill if you can?
Now batting, the second baseman number 2, Tony Gonzalez.
I don't change a thing here. Tony Gonzalez has been swinging a good bat going all the way back to January. He swung well with Mexico at the Pan Am qualifier. I'm letting him have at least 1 swing here and see what happens.
Rise ball's popped up. This could stay in play. Lions near the fence and makes the out.
So it doesn't pay off there.
No, but you're right.
But you look at the odds, and I mean, you're the odds guy, and the odds would tell you that scoring 2 runners in this situation with nobody out are better odds than scoring with second and third with 1 out. So
I'd love to know who makes those odds. You know, we can get into that conversation a little later. Jason Hill steps in, runners on first and second. You know, they say a slot machine pays out 97% of what goes in it over time, but what happens in the individual instance, you know, that's different to me. You know, if it's over 1 million times, sure, but what about right here, right now? What are the odds? And I like my odds with 2 guys in scoring position. Hill ducks in under that 1-1. Talk about guys that have faced each other a ton. Same age, these 2 guys. Conception Bay Central for Sean, St. John's for Jason. They would pitch against each other. They'd bat third in their respective lineups. When either's team won, they'd pick up the other guy. The history is just, you can't have one without the other when you talk about it.
So my question is, if you're Ryan Boland, do you even bother with trying to get something by Jason Hill on the inside corner, or you just go everything away? Because Jason, of course, pretty much almost always a dead pull hitter.
Yeah, always. He's learned to adjust, though, right? Because he always throw it out and away to him. He's been able to get to those. I think you work away, and then maybe try and sneak one in. Especially now where the count's 1-2, he has to be a little more protective. Jason didn't necessarily like that call. Maybe thought it was down.
Well, I don't think it was where Ryan Boland wanted it. Ryan was moving to the outside and actually had to come back across to get that pitch. So I don't know if Jason Hill thought they were going further outside than they did.
Foul ball, Boland had it and dropped it. And Hill smiles because he knows that Boland is furious. You don't want to give anyone a second chance, especially at this level.
Well, and this is, something we talk about with Hill United the other night. There were a couple of mistakes that were made, but it even played out the opposite way in the Batman game with Hill United. There were 2 errors made by Gonzalez, and before you know it, there were 5 runs across the plate. So second chances, errors, missed opportunities.
That's up. That was in to a degree. At least it was middle in.
Even a 50-50 call at first base. If Malali's out, that's a totally different inning.
Mm-hmm. 2-2 the count on the designated player for Hill United. Hasn't brought his glove to the field in years. Although I shouldn't say that because he's been playing some infield.
Well, he played a pretty decent third base last year for Hill United at the ISC World Tournament. Although I think with the return of Nick Shales and Shane Boland moving back over to third base, I think Jason Hill is the happiest guy on the team to see that happen.
He's got a full count, staring him in the face now. Malali's at second. Thomas Anoka's at first. Alan Pecker, super utility. I love this guy. I can't wait till he comes up from Argentina. Change up, foul back, and with Pecker on deck, you talk speed, power, defense. This guy can do it all.
Yeah, we talked about Allen a little bit last night, and then he hit a little slow roller out towards the second baseman, who made a fantastic play on it and still couldn't get him. So if it hits the ground twice, you will not get Alan Pecker.
For me, coming out party for him was in Prague. Of course, his team won, but he was so good.
Well, and he carried that right over, helping the Cubs get to the ISC championship game that year against the New York Gremlins.
This is poked to the left side. Derek Mason, we're one back to first. And that's why they call it the hot corner. Mason's been over there for a while. That gets by him. It scores 2. But Gold Glove stuff from the Canadian captain down there.
Yeah, Derek Mason up in the air, elevation, and then had the presence of mind to look at second. Mullally wasn't far enough off the bag, and there was nobody there. But Jeff Lyons was ready and waiting for that throw at first, and just back is Thomas Anoka, who runs the bases very well. All the Kiwis, of course, are very heads-up players, but Tommy Anoka getting back ahead of that strong throw from Mason.
So Pecker steps in, 2 down. We've had a ton of traffic on the bags. Low rise ball, strike 1.
Well, we are 45 minutes into this one, Chris. We're only top of the second inning. We haven't had a run yet, but we've had everything but.
Oh, that's good. Then we just had the longest day of the year. I guess we'll make this the second longest.
We'll just celebrate it.
You got anywhere to be? I sure don't. I came here specifically to watch some top fast pitch.
Well, and I'm here for the next one no matter what.
It's fouled back. Quickly ahead 0-2, Sean Cleary. After the first 2 runners got on base, Steve Mullally with an infield single, Thomas Anoka with a walk, and now Cleary's been working his way back out. Got a pop-up from Tony Gonzalez in foul territory. A big play from Derek Mason at third base, and now has a chance to get out of the top of the second.
Shook one and a long look in.
Foul ball. There's a little bit of cat and mouse with Mullally at second base. You know, he's well known for being a guy who does the, what shall we call them, the inside fast pitch stuff, the little nuanced is the word I'm looking for. It's been a while since I had a headset on too. You make me find words. The nuances of the game. Mullally
is great at picking pitches, stealing signs. Let's call it what it is. He's a master at it, and he's learned from some of the best.
It's outside for a ball.
And that's why, people will criticize Sean, and sometimes justifiably, for being deliberate, let's call it, out on the mound. But when you've got somebody peering over your shoulder, trying to pick location, trying to pick the pitch, you want to be deliberate and make sure that between you and Boland, you've got the right pitch for the situation.
And Pecker rips this into right. That is going to score 1. Mullally's in. It's an RBI double and a chance for 2. No, as Anoka runs into Boland. And a hard third out. Woo, ha-ha, we're back.
Yeah, a little spicy there. We'll go to the break, but we'll pick that one up, and maybe we can see this on the replay. So here's the hit by Pecker, and Chris, you called it. He laced it out to right. Anoka charging hard, and Ellsworth told him to go. The throw came in to the first baseman, who turned and flipped to Boland. And nowhere for Thomas Anoka to go.
No, he came up solid, as they say. That's it. So the Hill United Chiefs get 1. We'll go to the bottom after this.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game, every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports. Focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product, Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca to put your game over the top.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Mattios. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
And Ryan Boland, who was heavily involved in that last play, will lead off the bottom of the second inning. He takes the first pitch just inside, drop ball, ball one. An aggressive base running attempt by Hill United may have cost them with the leadoff hitter coming up. But hey, if you're not trying, you never know what's going to happen. It seems like that's what this weekend is about. I've only been here a short time, but different lineups, different strategies, different tactics.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that this was, the week before the World Tournament, the way that these two teams are going at it.
Boland's going to hammer this one into left center field. He'll get a single. Nice job coming over to collect. Thomas Anoka in left.
Yeah, Tommy Noka out in left. Right for Pecker.
So leadoff single by Ryan Boland. Plenty of guys on base. And strike one to Joey Dockstader.
Joey's a good young player from the South Middlesex League that has been added onto this team for some youth and to gain some experience here and learn from guys. But he has earned himself a spot in the lineup with his play here this weekend.
Shows bunt, gets the Hill United infield moving around. It's called a ball.
And another young Newfoundlander on deck from the fastball factory, Jordan Pomeroy, the latest to come out of St. John's.
Hard swing, falling away a little bit was Dockstader there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It seems like Jordan Pomeroy's been around forever already. Was on that national junior men's team. Is that Jason Gerby's checking in from New Zealand?
Us all the way from
very
New
nice.
Zealand about hat size.
Yeah. That's a new era, Jason. I got off my wallet, picked that one up. Had to get it specially made. Nibble, nibble from Migliavaca. Full count. Nobody down. Ryan Boland led off with a single to left center. Foul ball, but it's held on to by Matroni, and that's one away.
I was really impressed with Pomeroy, the way that he swung the bat and the contact that he's made and the pop that he shows last weekend at the Kennedy's qualifier and last night in their game. He's got some potential here, this kid, to do some things.
Well, you often talk about the league in St. John's, and of course playing there as well. You're seeing Sean Cleary all the time. You're seeing Colin Walsh pitch all the time. Jason Hill, not necessarily the open level guy, but he still throws. Yeah. You're seeing a lot of guys. If you ask Jason, he's the best pitcher in the league. And even the local guys that you might even not know their names, they're all good, you know.
Well, I've managed a team of them for 2 years. I know exactly how good they are.
You know, you got hard throwing Lee Coes. Robbie Green throws 1,000 miles an hour. You know, there's plenty of guys. You're getting good at bats there. And you're doing it in about 6-degree weather most nights.
I heard.
Drop ball out to second. What a play. Gonzalez shovels the Shales. Boland comes in with a hard slide, and keep an eye on these two teams as we head toward August.
Well, Nick Shales has not taken an eye off of Ryan Boland the entire way as Bolin made his way back to the dugout. There's no love lost there. Ryan Bolin is hard-nosed as any player in the game. He got a hand on the bag, but he also got a piece of Nick Shales on the way by.
Let's talk about that play by Tony Gonzalez. That was headed up the middle. And you talked about his play with the Mexican national team. And last Worlds I was at in Prague, up the middle, there was not a team better at second and short.
Yeah, Tony Gonzalez, all-world last year at the IC World Tournament, full value for it. And he has been a find for Hill United as they've looked at a couple of players in that Mexican team, and Piplo Lopez joining Tony up here this year.
Colin Walsh steps in, second at bat. He hit the ball to Gonzalez. This time a rocket towards Shales. The crushed stone infield, it scoops up, and Nick's lucky to still have that beautiful face. Although first and third scampering on the play is Jordan Pomeroy.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know what the bounce you're going to get, and that one come up on Shales and just ate him right up. You're going to see it right here. Hard hit, second hop, and just right through him.
And Nick, you're happy that goes right through you there.
Yeah, you're happy you still got all your teeth.
So what do you? Yeah, that's got to be a hit. It's got to be a hit. It
Yeah,
looks like a ground ball to short, but it's not.
Yeah, bad hop hit.
What it is first and third, and for the second inning in a row, the Bear Creek Express are threatening, and Brandon Horn comes in already 1 for 1. He swings at the first pitch. Easy for Shales. He'll step on second. They threaten twice. Migliavacca gets out of it twice. After 2 innings, the Hill United Chiefs are up 1-0 thanks to some sparkling defense.
For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program. For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast.
Check, 2. Check. Yeah? Okay, that's better. All right, well, I'll ask the crowd. Okay.
Now, Blair, you sound wonderful. Soothing voice. Shane Bolin steps in, top of the third inning. Hill United up 1-0. Bolin led off the game with a fly ball to left field.
So thanks for the feedback on the audio. We'll turn up the levels and just send me a note. Let me know if that is better for everybody. Thanks for letting us know.
You know, it's delicate as a broadcaster because normally you'd be in a booth, you know, just projecting your voice. But here we're about 9 feet from the catcher and batter. So you try not to be in their ear.
Try not to be in their ear. Try not to give away location when they move or anything like that. You got to be careful.
Bolin crushes this to left. It is foul. Just foul.
Just foul and had enough to get out.
Cleared the back fence. And the foul pole is about 6'6", so it makes it really tough.
Yeah.
Like Quinn Bruce might be able to stand next to that foul pole, reach over it, and make the play. Jeff Lyons would definitely give it a go. Inside strike, to the dismay of the Hill United faithful and the Hill United leadoff hitter Shane Boland. Count 1 and 2, some shadows creeping across the field now. Change up, pop to the left side. Lions will make the basket catch. And there's 2 down. And Cleary, hey, when you're around as long as Sean Cleary is, and everyone's got video on you, got to change something up.
Well, you change something up and you throw Shane Boland a knuckleball that wobbled the whole way in.
Reinventing himself. I like it. I like it. He always threw a good changeup. It just wasn't this changeup.
Well, maybe he'll be Phil Niekro and still pitching into his 50s.
It's a reference for all of you born before color TV.
Well, there are no knuckleballers left. Wasn't who was the last guy? The guy for the Blue Jays.
This is the first pitch shot from Matroni. That's taken in center field quite easily. And there's quickly 2 down.
Dickey was the last knuckleballer that I can think of in the major leagues.
R.A. Dickey. What a trade that was. I saw a Josh Tolley jersey at the game the other night.
Yeah, whatever became of Noah Syndergaard?
I think he's with the Angels now, right?
Yeah.
It's just a sad story, actually. You'd love to see him do well. I was there the other night. Guy throwing knuckle curve, a lot of guys, but not the straight-up knuckleball. Ezekiel picked by Derek Mason, who's early MVP defensively in the running with Tony Gonzalez this evening. Quick 1-2-3 goes Hill United in the top of the third.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program. The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game.
How much would it take for you to go over that in a barrel, Blair?
A lot more than any of you guys have got.
I'd have a hard time finding a barrel.
I'm sure Jason Gerbies has got one for us.
Well, it's 3-4-5 for Bear Creek in the bottom of the third. Tyler Pauli, Derek Mason, Quentin Bruce. Pauli and Mason have both had hits. And he rips this first pitch out to the calmest, coolest center fielder in the game. Brad Ezekiel 1 down.
Bradley still the gold standard. Showed that last year in the ISC championship game. Stole 5 runs from the New York Gremlins. What a difference maker he was in that championship.
You know, you see the MLB stat, defensive runs saved. Guys would try and get that in a year. He got it in an evening.
Well, over the course of that tournament, it had to be into double figures, the runs that he took away from guys right at the fence, crashing through the fence. Because it wasn't just the championship game. There was 2 or 3 other games, too, where he did that.
First pitch, low ball 1 to Derek Mason. You know, you see guys like, you know, when it's like Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau played with something like 30-something% of all the guys ever to play. As Derek Mason slams this one, more of a challenge for Eskil. Actually gets down, and it's a 2-hit afternoon for the guy who I was going to say has had a lot of teammates.
Yeah, Bradley Ezekiel had to go a long way. We've been talking all weekend about how much acreage there is out there in the outfield. Long run, tried to get it on the backhand slide, but just came up a little bit short. But knocked it down, kept it in front of him. Mason the double, but nothing more.
A little bit of help coming over from Thomas Anoka, but another runner in scoring position. Third inning in a row. Can Migliavacca get some fancy footwork to get out of this? Is Quentin Bruce. Quick shot. And Bolin makes the play even before Gonzalez could get over to second base. 2 down.
Well, it's some trust in your fellow infielder that he's going to be there because Bolin came up sniping.
The batter is the first baseman, number 44, Jeff Lyons.
Migliavacca, a combination of defense and strikeouts, keeping this Bear Creek team off the board so far. Now Jeff Lyons for the second time with the old runners in scoring position. Time is called by the batter. First pitch swinging, strike one. Sun is setting on the left side of the infield. I want to say it's I know it's the west side.
That is the west side. Sun sets in the west. Attaboy. There you go.
Oh. I did grade 7 geography. Anyway, my point being that it's going to bother the guys on the right side of the field.
It will, yeah, and we saw that last night. The first baseman, the right fielder, were the only guys left in the sunshine by about, I want to say, I think it was about 10 after 9 when the sun got over that far. The lights are here in the corners. Randy Frame brought it out last night. He wanted to know when the lights were going to come on and take effect. He was watching from the Dutch settlement down in Nova Scotia. And it took until about 9:30 for those lights to be full effect.
Randy might have a hard time with those spectacles. He's always curious about the lighting. I caught for Randy Frame one year in Nova Scotia. Absolutely, yeah. We had a lot of fun. Didn't win a lot of games. We had a lot of fun.
I think he just took a shot, Randy.
You know what? He was good. We'd play double headers, drop ball outside, 2-2. We'd play double headers every night, and he'd throw 14 innings.
14 innings, wow. That is some dedication.
Well, except the games where we got mercied. He throw like 10 or to 14 every night.
You know, they've been working Lions exclusively outside here, and he hasn't had an answer for Migliavacca out there off the corner. They're going again.
If it ain't broke, and you got a base open, however, you've got Ryan Boland on deck. We talked off air about the construction of the lineup. Boland's been dropped down. You might be happy to see him come up with runners on first and second here if Lyons can find his way aboard.
Well, Terry Bader always used to say your 4 and your 6 spot were your RBI spots. And Ryan typically found himself in one of those spots. He's in the 7 hole here, and he's going to get a chance to drive in a couple runs. There you see some of the crowd that's on hand here. We have a real good crowd here in Simcoe for the Hill United game. They've been coming out to support the Chiefs. But this game, doesn't matter who you're supporting, this is got all the markings of a championship quality game.
When I pulled into the parking lot, I found the one spot that was left. Somebody must have left, and the cars it's about, I'd say, 1.5 kilometers to the main road, and the cars are on the side of the road all the way out.
Yeah, all the way down. I got here early to make sure I got a parking spot in the lot just to not have that lot. There's Big Brian Hill, one of the co-owners of the Hill United Chiefs of the Hill family, and we want to thank them for their hospitality here this weekend.
They always do it right.
Yeah, Big B, mainstay with this team over the years, and the dedication of the players to Big B and the Hill family is something.
Ryan Boland steps in, first pitch swinging, and that'll get the Bear Creek Express on the board. Not just one, deep into right center. Boland chugging for third. He is out on the relay, but not before Mason and Lions come around. It's now 2-1 Bear Creek.
For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program. For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
For Bear Creek in the bottom of the third, there were 2 runs on 2 hits and no one left on base. After
3 complete innings and a lot of excitement. 2-1.
Yeah.
Boland
You see,
gunned down.
You can see some of the crowd here as we pull back from our home plate position. Crowd still buzzing about that Ryan Boland double, scored the 2 runs, and Chris, not to be hypercritical, but could have just stopped at second, stayed in scoring position, tried to extend it into the triple. The old adage, never make the third out at third. But I like the aggressiveness that both of these teams are showing right now.
That ball was hit a long way, and I don't mind it. It was deep, and it took a perfect relay to get Boland at third. So it's always hard when you're chugging around second. You look up, you got to get some direction too, because you can't be checking over your shoulders. So
yeah,
and it happens so fast.
Yeah, and I think when you're a third base coach there, it's tough because you're giving the wave to Mason coming around. At the same time, you also got to look for that guy at second. You got to pick him up and give him the sign too. So it is tough. You're in a tough spot there. You got to watch 2 guys at once. But Bear Creek Express, they needed that big hit to capitalize on the opportunities, and Ryan Boland coming through there. We talked about the RBI spot and that opportunity, and come through in the clutch.
So it'll be 4-5-6 for Hill United as they look to respond. Changeup, Shales, an audible groan at a changeup that was right down the middle. Shales grounded out to second, chopped out. And they're living outside again. Strike 2 called as it tickles the black.
Yeah, I think I go right back out there if I'm Ryan and Sean. That it's not a pitch Nick Shales wants to chase.
Deep hole for the Australian Canadian, we're going to call him now.
You're claiming him?
We claimed him a long time ago. If we could just get him out of the green and gold, which will never happen.
No, it will never happen. That's got enough spin on it that it's going to dig a hole.
Jeff Lyons could have got a cut from the seams if he tried to pick that up with his bare hand.
Yeah, Nick's played in more Canadians than a lot of Canadian ball players ever will get the chance to. You go back all the way to 2016 when you and I were doing the games out in St. John's. I think that was his first Canadians.
I think so too, and I mean, credit to the guys from Nova Scotia because they made the push to get him there, but then treated him so well, and they had such a good team. They won
in 17.
A lot of credit got to go to Chris Helpwell and Randy Frame and that whole group, Scof as well, and they've really made a push come nationals with the Mastodons groups. And if it wasn't for those pesky Galway guys.
Yeah, I'm curious what's going on here. The home plate umpire went out and took a look at the ball, whether it was cut going off the end of Nick Shale's bat. They're going to throw it out.
I'm willing to bet that's what it was.
Yeah, it may have just been it went right off the end of the bat. They're a little sharp these days and may have split a seam or something.
You can see John Hill looking at it. He's not looking at it to see that it's too black, although it's also not a yellow ball anymore. So either way, Shale's still in a hole. Leaves it up and out of the zone. Cleary's rise ball is jumping significantly, but not late enough to get guys to chase. That one got him to chase. Shale's down on strikes, one away, and Sean Cleary is settled down here and retired the last 4 batters.
Well, and you know what, that pitch was set up by the one before. You said it was jumping up and out of the zone, but I think that was a setup just to show Nick that if we throw that and we start it a foot lower, it's still going to be in the strike zone. You're going to have to chase it, and that's exactly what they did with the next pitch. They started a little bit lower, and Shale's just swinging underneath it, but felt he had to chase it because of the previous one, the way it moved.
Steve Mullally steps in, singled and scored the only Hill United run in the second. Change up for a strike. You know, we always talk about the hard throwing rise and drop, but when you change the speed like that, it gets the guys completely off kilter in the box.
Well, you go look at who's got the most wins in ISC history. Michael White. Was he the hardest throwing pitcher at any time in his career? Not a chance. Moved the ball around, hit spots like nobody's business, never threw the same pitch at the same speed twice. Darren Zach, same thing. Now, Darren could throw as hard as anybody when he wanted to, but never threw the same pitch, same speed twice.
Rise ball, Mullally hacks at it. That's vintage Mullally, but he missed strike 2. Well, Darren Zach had a changeup that could also go in every which direction at multiple speeds.
Yeah, he had the change up, he had the change down, the change curve. Which one? Darren Zach legitimately, probably the only person who could say he had 7 different pitches.
Well, yeah, they would have needed a key just to get the signs down.
I can remember we had a practice back with the Gators. I can't remember where it was, 2014, 2015. And Darren came out to the practice and he showed Sean and I think Scope was probably 2014. But he showed Sean and some of the other guys just a couple of different grips but Darren's hands.
Say not everyone's got those mitts.
Yeah, yeah. You know, but Darren, you know, just in his folksy ways, like, well, now you've got 4 seams spinning, and you know, it just made so much sense. But just to see the master, the way that he could control the ball and make it spin was just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you got hands like that's like Andre DeGrasse could tell me how to run the 100 meters.
If you don't have the physical tools.
Change up, rip through the left side. A valiant effort by the diving Doc Stater, but it's 2 for 2. Steve Mullally leads off again.
And do you wonder maybe they went to the well one too often there with the changeup because he threw him a couple of that at bat already. Maybe Steve was sitting on it.
At least looking for it. 2 strikes to be sitting change is, well, could be one of the reasons he's one of the best hitters to ever do it. So Tamina Sunoka walked and was eventually out at the plate. Didn't really see an exchange between him and Ryan. Again, former teammates. Rise ball, strike 1.
Well, there was. Ryan gave him a bit of a hard look, and Tommy threw up the hands immediately. And Ryan just kind of backed right off. So there was, and it was real quick. between the two of them, but that was it. It was over real fast.
Probably not the first, nor will be the last time. Drop ball ripped through the left side, and it's again back-to-back runners on, Mullally and Anoka. Here it's to start the fourth.
See, and that's why I don't take the bat out of Thomas Anoka's hands there for bunting. He sees Sean pretty well. He's had a lot of lifetime success, and now you got the runners in scoring position. Okay, yeah, you got one out. I don't think I'm bunting again here with Tony either.
And now, if you're Hill United, are you going up looking for a changeup? There's been one in essentially
pretty much
every
one every
at-bat.
bat. Yeah.
It's Tony Gonzalez. He'll look to make amends for popping up to the first baseman. Last time around in this exact scenario, first and second, nobody out. Check that one out with Shales.
Well, he popped that one up, but that one's going to go up and out of play. So 1-0, the Niagara Snappers over the Grand Prairie Pirates on the diamond behind us. Grand Prairie winners here on this diamond immediately before this game.
Drop change for strike two on Gonzalez. Long way to get here from Grand Prairie.
A long way to get anywhere from Grand Prairie. But yeah, but you know what? It's great to get them out here, get to see the top teams because, when we talked about this earlier, they play Irma in the finals of every tournament that they're in.
Rise ball chopped down and foul. How do you get on top of that?
That's a good question because you could just see the elevation. Like our angle is just perfect to see the levitation of that ball. And Tony did manage to get on top of it.
Shows you how quick his hands are. Tying run on second in the form of Steve Mullally, one away. Drop ball, just miss, and Boland just letting us all take an extra second to admire how close that was. Shot of the iconic Hill United logo. It's not as prevalent on this form of their uniform. Rise ball lifted to left, heading back, and gone! A 3-run home run from Tony Gonzalez, who again went up to get that softball.
I don't know how he managed to hit that pitch out with elevation. That ball was at his eyes when he got a hold of that. It was a great rise ball from Sean Cleary. Like, you just got to tip your hat to Tony Gonzalez for hitting that pitch out of the yard.
Quinn Bruce was heading back. I thought he might have had a play on it. He kept going back, and back. And those aren't small fences out there. That's a real home run.
That is a real home run in any park. 275 and a 6-foot fence to clear. I think there's just a hint of a breeze. If you look at the top of that one tree out there, there's just a hint of a breeze up above the stadium seating here on either side of the baselines.
So that 3-run shot from Gonzalez turns this game on top of its head. It's now 4-2 for the Chiefs.
So back and forth. I don't know that it's going to end 4-2, but this is a good one. This is one of the games that the fans will be talking about for years that I was there for.
A lot of these players involved in the ISC final in 2016 in Quad Cities, this game like this, back and forth. Same pitchers. And here we go again.
Yeah, there's so many commonalities. It's been and I think it was Var Matosian talked about this when he appeared on Dust Up. It's been the Gremlins, the Chiefs, and whatever team Sean Cleary is pitching for in the finals every year going back to 2013.
High drop ball. That was close. A lot closer than maybe people think it was. That came right down just under the Hill United, under the Chiefs on Jason's uniform. It's a nice pitch. This one's lifted high. This could be trouble. No man's land. Bruce gives it a run and makes the play.
Had to go a long way to go get that. Quentin Bruce, youthful legs out there in left field, probably covered maybe 20, 25 meters to go get that ball.
Number 2 away, the batter is the right fielder, number 59, Alan Pecker.
So 2 down, they'll bring around the 9 batter, Alan Pecker. He had a single and an RBI back in the second. He'll slap this one to the left side. Another good play by Derek Mason. And the Express will get out of here, but not before Tony Gonzalez launched a 3-run home run to deep left and give his Hill United Chiefs back the lead. As we head to the bottom of the 4th, we're only halfway done in what's shaping up to be a slugfest here in Simcoe.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Matiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
Welcome back. We're almost set for the bottom of the 4th inning. Blair, with it being so early in the season, are we seeing the hitters with a little advantage, maybe some arms that aren't ready for these long weekends?
Yeah, I think so. The hitters can go take batting practice. The pitchers, I talked to Adam Folkert about this. Throwing into a net in your backyard just isn't the same as live pitching. So right now, advantage hitters. I think the pitchers will catch up.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we're so used to seeing the dominance from the mound. Although in the last couple of years, you can argue that the power has swung back to the guys with the stick.
Yeah, I think so a little bit. You still got guys who can shut down any team on any given day. But you see when you stack the lineups the way they are, they're so concentrated. There's no easy outs anymore. And you can't just cruise your way through a game, even here in late June in one of the first tournaments of the year.
Joey Doxtator is down 1-2 to Pablo Miglivaca, and he's now the first out down as he chased a drop ball just off the plate, and there's one away.
With 1 out, the batter will be the center fielder, number 27, Jordan Pomeroy.
Adam's thrown a game and a half down there on the sidelines. He's still up there throwing. I don't think he's ever gone back to the dugout.
Well, the thing is, they win, he might have to go right away again.
He will, yeah.
I'd say he's going at about 12% down there, if we're being honest. So it's Jordan Pomeroy, center fielder, Reached on a fielder's choice on a great defensive play by Tony Gonzalez. Would have been a hit in a lot of leagues.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. And that is the one thing that I don't think the guys at the top of the circuit here that they get enough credit for is for how good the defense is.
Change up.
That was the pitch that was unhittable last night from Migliavacchi. Hasn't thrown it a lot here today.
I think Pomeroy was looking 180 degrees away by the time that actually hit Matroni's glove. He was well out in front of it. And then he humps it up with an outside drop ball, down looking, 2 down.
With 2 out, the batter is the right fielder, number 16, Colin Walsh.
The high drop ball, the bane of my existence. Well, most pitches were the bane of my existence, but the high drop ball was tough.
Well, especially if you're a catcher. I always call that the catcher's best friend. Because chances are that's going to get fouled off into your lap.
Swing and a miss, strike 1 on Colin Walsh, who's 0 for 2. 2 ground balls. And a third one out to Shales at short. Routine, 3 up, 3 down. And if you're the Hill United Chiefs, that's what you want after scoring 3 runs in the top.
Yeah, that's a great inning for Pablo to get that clean, and momentum still right now squarely on the side of the Chiefs.
All right, we'll go to the 5th inning. Hill United up by 2 here from Simcoe.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at Peligro Sports NYC.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton.
Go to the top of the 5th inning. Sean Cleary's still on the mound. Actually, we've seen no action for Bear Creek. And it's back to the top of the order for Hill United. 3rd time through, Shane Boland is 0 for 2. Flew out to left, popped up to the first baseman, Jeff Lyons, in foul territory.
And Shane has not been happy with first pitch strikes.
We won't have to worry about it. That's a first pitch ball up and in.
Yeah.
Brian Boland doesn't look very comfortable back there. Drop ball, tapped out in front. Cleary on to first. Throw is a little inside the bag. Lyons grabs it. And Shane won't be happy about that either.
No, he will not be. Little, excuse me, check swing, and he took the catcher deep. It was Cleary, actually, who came out to field it. Sean fields his position as well as anybody out there. And but you're right, that was a little bit inside. I don't know why we're not using a safe base here this weekend, but that was almost a collision.
So Bruno Matroni 0 for 2. Knuckleball. Are we going to call this a knuckleball or a knuckle change?
Well, that one had more pace on it. Yeah, it looked like just a straight-up knuckleball. But he's thrown it at different speeds.
Mm-hmm. Locating it, I don't think is still... Attempted bunt, Matroni. Lyons picks it up, makes a tag. Good defense. 2 away. Don't see that one very often from the Argentine.
No, I think that's not where he wanted to place that down the line. I think if he gets that, if he gets it past Cleary, he's aboard with the infield single. Because Horn's not expecting that play, and it's going to take its time to get into him. But it just ended up going down the line.
So 3 times Shane Bowl and Bruno Matroni have been the first and second out of the inning. You don't see that much, and not a chance to set the table for the big bopper. Brad Essigo takes a knuckle change drop from Darren Cleary.
Is that what we're calling it now?
I don't know.
The knuckle change drop?
That's what it looked like to me. Sounds impressive. That's just an old-fashioned drop ball. Chopped to third. Mason on the hop and over to first base. And Derek Mason still doing it. 3 up, 3 down. Go to the Chiefs.
That was an impressive play. He had to come in on the charge, swipe at it, and hope that you get it in the glove. And then to make that throw on the run with some zip on it, too. That was impressive.
Anyone who's played that third base knows that's a tough throw. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Clean one from Bear Creek. They got the top of the order coming up as they'll try to get back into this one.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game, every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports. Focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product, Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca to put your game.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at Peligro.
Footage. Great drone footage. Definitely authorized by the municipality of Simcoe here at Lions Park. What could be an unauthorized arm is Adam Folkard when he uses it to its full capability. One of the best to ever do it. He comes on here in the bottom of the 5th. What have you seen from Folkard so far this week?
Well, he came out and he looked like the Adam Folkard that we saw back in 2019 when he threw 4 innings on Friday night, hitting his spots, throwing hard. Not the hardest, but throwing hard. Came in with pace. This afternoon against the Toronto Batmen, it was almost the exact opposite. They really got onto him.
First pitch swinging Brandon Horn and Tony Gonzalez with his I can do it, you can do it all day with Derek Mason.
Yeah, the two of them have been going back and forth. So I think Adam certainly was not happy with that outing this afternoon, and my expectation, just based on Adam's history, when he does get beat, he comes back with a vengeance.
Tyler Paulai steps in. He's 1 for 2 at a single, was stranded back in the first inning. Tell you what else, Blair, it's great to be back at the ballpark, but it's also great to hear from the people who are chiming in that you maybe haven't talked to in a couple of years. Everyone's life has kind of gone in a different direction. The one common thread we had is Paulai singles through the right side. The one common thread we had is this game.
Yeah.
And it's great to bring it all back.
It is, and we heard that from so many people last weekend, and Mitchell, many more people here this weekend. It is just great to be back at the ballpark. It's great to be normal life. Nothing like it.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 9, Derek Mason.
So Paulai goes to 2 for 3, and the tying run comes to the plate in the form of Derek Mason, who still has one of the deepest home runs I've ever seen in my life. Lost somewhere in Havlichkov Brod, Czech Republic. It was still going up when it went over the trees in right center field.
Well, I'll tell you that. he's also one of the guys who has a pretty positive history against Adam Folkert, has hit Adam well-ish over the course of his career, and it's a good time for him to be up.
And Adam doesn't seem to want to give him a whole lot as he goes to 2-0.
Well, he may remember back to 2019 when Derek Mason lined one off of his arm and knocked him out of the game. He came back the next night with a wrap on that arm.
Drop ball inside. That looked pretty good. They're going to call it ball 3. Oh, some chirps coming in from the gallery.
Mid-season form.
3-0. It's a low rise outside, strike 1. Mason looks like he wants to say the last pitch was better than that one.
Well, you're where you should be.
Man, it's a tough job in there. Drop ball inside. Looked like the one that was called a ball. And he hammers it foul.
Well, and I think that drop ball inside, that was the pitch that Mason was waiting for. You know you're going to get a drop at least once in an at-bat with Adam.
So Folkert's worked his way back into this count now, 2-2. To the Bear Creek cleanup man. And a rise ball outside, swing and a miss, strike 3. That's 2 away.
So that's a really interesting sequence there from Bruno and Adam. I think they only threw 2 drop balls that whole sequence. It was mostly rise balls.
Quinton Bruce, the 5 spot in this order, is getting the high leverage spots in this game. So far, he's 0 for 2. And he rips one to Tony Gonzalez, who didn't have to move. And that's the 3rd out. Adam Folkert comes in, gives up a single to Tyler Pauli, but gets the rest.
Right man, right place, right time, Tony Gonzalez.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support.
All right, here we go. Nick Shales, 4-5-6, leading it off the same way they did in the 4th. And that was the inning where Hill United did the damage. Shales led off with a strikeout, but then Malali, Anoka get on, and Tony Gonzalez hits the bomb. And that's been the difference so far here in the Hill United 2022 Chiefs Challenge, with the playoffs looming, Blair Seffert.
Well, this is not the scenario you want if you are a Bear Creek fan. By our math, and again, this is not official.
Is it anything like my geography?
By our math, Bear Creek loses. They're going home. They have that loss on their hands to the Niagara Stompers earlier this morning. That would give the Stompers at 1-2 the head-to-head win in the tiebreak over Bear Creek.
First pitch was a drop ball to Nick Shales. He fouled it down the left side. We got a rise ball back here to the screen. And we're all even.
Nick with the Lumberjack Sports batting gloves.
I think he knows a guy.
Well, we want to thank Nick for being a sponsor with us here this weekend.
Upper reaches of the strike zone. Strike 2.
Not much you can do with that pitch, eh? Right in the top of the zone and maybe curving away a little bit from a right-handed batter.
Looked like it was a high drop ball. It didn't drop a ton. It stayed about on the same plane on the way in, but it was a good plane if you're Sean Cleary. Rise ball was shooting up out of the zone. It's fouled away by Shields, and he's battling here now.
Well, Ryan Boland was looking for some help for that. He thought maybe that went right up the elevator chute and was going to stay in play, but
1-2 to Shales. Steve Mullally, who's 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored, waits on deck. Drop ball was supposed to be outside, came back across the middle, and Shales knows he missed it.
yeah, only so many chances, and if you get 1 or 2 in an at-bat's actually in a bonus situation, really.
Feel the tension starting to ratchet up here in the park. It's a rise ball. Shields goes out across the plate to get it. And a nice job out at shortstop by Doc Stater on to first. 1 away.
Yeah, he went out and hooked that one to shortstop.
With 1 out, the batter is the first baseman, number 33, Steve Mullally.
On base twice, scored a couple of runs.
With 2 hits. The man who has a picture of his face on the way into Placentia, Newfoundland. And a special hello to everyone watching back home. I know there's a bunch. We've heard from Doug Marshall. We've heard from Mark Lewis. And that's just the first little bit. Heard from Lee Coase.
Janet Boland.
Well, you know Janet's watching.
Who do you think Janet cheers for in this game?
I think she cheers for Shane.
Oh, yeah?
Ryan would tell you that too. Well, it's funny, you know, a few years ago when we were doing that Nationals down in St. John's.
Yeah.
The whole Boland clan was there.
They were, that's right.
But they were cheering against Ryan.
No.
Ryan, not the Bolands. Not the Bolands. The local fans.
The local fans were,
Ryan.
yes. I remember that vividly. I thought I was going to have to break up a brawl.
I think the reason that came to me, because I think Ryan said like one of his uncles was cheering for the Kelly's pup team. Everyone wanted the underdog.
Yes,
right?
I do understand the underdog story.
It's fouled off the top of the bat by Mullally, 1-2.
But what
a scene that day.
that was something to behold that year, wasn't it? 2016. Now, Canadian Nationals, I think, are back in St. John's this year.
They are.
Maybe somebody will call us and ask us to come again.
I'm gonna hope Carl Wells and Tony Marie Wiseman make sure the weather's good that week, or Eddie Shearer, whoever's doing the weather these days. I haven't lived there for a while, but going back Wednesday though.
There's the Lumberjack batting gloves. Steve Mullally's got them on as well.
I think he got them for free.
He probably knows somebody.
Drop ball outside. Beautiful pitch from Cleary. Down goes Mullally looking. And the first 2 batters are retired here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah,
Top
it didn't
of the
help him
6th.
there.
With 2 outs, the batter is the left fielder, number 20,
that angle, it looked like Bolin had to reach a little bit, but we can tell you for sure that was on the plate. Yeah, I think Janet cheers for Shane. He's the baby. You cheer for the baby.
I'm waiting to see. Oh, here come the comments now. Chris is getting me in trouble.
So I was right. That's the thing. I was right. She didn't say no. We love you, Janet. It's a big half inning here for Bear Creek in the field. They've got 6 outs to work with, and they need to start using them. Anoka takes that knuckleball into left field. Quentin Bruce puts it away. A very needed 3 up, 3 down for Sean Cleary and his team. As we head to the bottom, we'll have 2, 3, 4. Check that. 6, 7, 8 coming up, and they'll look to get something going against Adam Folkert.
Murphy's Fish and Chips is not only a great place to get some of the best seafood in Canada, but is also one of the best fastball sponsors in the game. Voted Nova Scotia's best fish and chips by Eastlink TV, Murphy's is a family institution since 1996 and a proud fastball sponsor of many Canadian and ISC championship teams. Open 7 days a week. Come join us for our famous English-style fish and chips or any of our daily specials. Murphy's is located at 88 Esplanade in Truro, Nova Scotia. We thank Dave T. Anderson and Murphy's Fish and Chips for their commitment to fastball.
All right, it's Jeff Lyons, who walked and scored last time around. That's the last run that Bear Creek was able to muster back in the bottom of the third. First pitch drop ball outside. Goes right back out there, but this time a little more of the plate, a little more height. Strike one. Back away again. Ball 2. Now do you come back, bust the long arms of Lyons in tight. You got him looking.
Yeah, he's looking away.
And they do. Drop ball inside, swing and a miss.
Yeah, and Chris, this will be the evolution of Adam Folkert. He's always going to be a power pitcher. But he can't just rely on overpowering batters anymore. He's got to hit his spots and work in and work out and then catch guys by surprise and do the unexpected like that, where you go away, and then you bust them in.
And then back outside. Looked like it took a little off as well. It was enough to mess up Jeff Lyons, that's for sure. Here comes Ryan Bolin. Smacked the ball to the outfield last time around. Takes strike one, and he never flinched.
No, Ryan never moved, but Adam stumbled coming off the board and had a quick glance back They've been putting calcium down in between the innings, or in between the games rather, to try and keep that as stable as possible out there. I talked to George Ryder last night. He said they were looking at, geez, maybe we just install clay bricks underneath it, but he said there's at least a good solid foot of foundation.
Bowen swung at that one all right. Came out of his shoes. Strike 2.
And for the most part, the mounds are holding up well. We can maybe get Luciano to get a close-in shot, but there's no obvious divots out there.
That's in the dirt. Grabs a piece of Matroni's arm too. Yeah. I heard that in that I didn't hear that. The ball came up and hit him.
Yeah.
And there was no noise, which means there was pain.
Yeah, got a piece of him for sure.
One, 2 count to the Bear Creek catcher. Well up and out of the zone. Fulker takes another peek back at the mound after he lets that one go.
The one thing that Joe Todd and I picked up on in the Toronto game is you don't normally see Adam work from behind. You don't normally see him go deep into counts. But he did that a lot against Toronto, and he's doing it here again. Throwing a lot of pitches, a lot more than what we've used to be seeing from Adam over the years.
It looks to me like his comfort level went away after that second pitch to Bolin. Bounced one, well up, bounced another. It's 3 straight balls after being ahead 0-2. Strike 3 called on a low-rise ball outside, much to the dismay of the Bear Creek catcher. We're going to get a pinch hitter here for Bear Creek.
You were just asking about Kyle Ezekiel.
Yeah, I knew he was on the roster. He didn't start this one. But he's going to come on to hit with 2 down. One of the few guys who hits without batting gloves.
Yeah, there's a couple here this weekend. Ty Sebastian doesn't use the batting gloves either. Certainly not hurting him right now, I'll tell you.
First pitch, drop ball, taken to center, and he hits it to his big brother. Great job by Brad Ezekiel to get over, cut that off, and keep Kyle at first.
That's the more important part of that at bat, was that Bradley got over there, and he got that in the webbing of the glove, too. That almost got to the fence. And right back to the bench.
That's gonna
Kyle, we hardly knew you.
Best job, come in, get a hit, put the guy back in to run. Joey Dockstader will re-enter at first base.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 27, Jordan Pomeroy.
Pomeroy struck out looking last time. That is low for ball 1. Pomeroy with a hack. On a hittable pitch. Drop ball just around the knees. Swing and a miss, strike 2. That was a hope I hit it swing. Then again, a lot of guys have had that mindset against Adam Folkert over the years. The ball now is coming through a shadow cast by the dugout and stands. Runners off, hacked away. So not only do you have to deal with one of the best...
Get more challenging, so we're leveling
Oh,
up.
I guess so. Yes, it would be.
See, I was trying to say something cool there,
Yeah,
but thanks for spiking me.
Runners off again, and it's fouled away again. Well, Blair, I lost...
Well, you're like the epitome of cool, man. You travel everywhere and go do cool things, and
Sounds like
I'd like to live vicariously through you if I could.
Sounds like Instagram fallacy to me. I stopped being cool a long time ago. Not sure I ever was. That drop ball's in the dirt, scoops up high, skips up high even, and that'll send the runner down to second. We're going to call that one a wild pitch.
I'm going to go with the wild pitch on that one. I certainly don't think that's what Bruno was expecting.
Well, Jordan Pomeroy is hanging tough here. Now he's got a chance to cut this lead in half if he can poke the ball through the infield. Side ball 3.
So the other thing just to think about here is endurance for Adam. And again, he hasn't picked up a ball since March in game action. He told me this morning when we had a brief chat, he said, I throw the ball in the backyard, but it's not like throwing the live batters or anything like that.
Ball 4.
This is... this is 6 months later. Well, not 6, but it's 4 months later for Adam, and he's got to get back in game shape. And I'm not suggesting he's out of shape, don't get me wrong, but you got to get back in game shape. You got to build up the arm strength, the leg strength, the endurance. And, he went 4 innings last night. He threw 2 innings today. But as we said earlier, they haven't been the easy innings where he's just mowed guys down. He's had base runners on. He's had to contend with, some adversity.
Drop ball first pitch, Colin Walsh swinging. Fouls it off. And this isn't easy either. Tyne runs now on first base.
Yeah, you get something in a gap here, and this kid at first base can fly, and it'll be a tie game.
Colin Walsh well capable of that. It's a big moment here in this one. Rise ball is up. He's not getting the chase on the rise ball. In the dirt, Matroni gets down. And that'll keep Dockstader at second.
Yeah, that's world-class catching right there. Bruno Matroni with a body over, gets it down, keeps that ball in front of him. No opportunity for either Dockstader or Pomeroy to advance, and both of these kids can run.
Good couple of looks at those shadows we were talking about. Walsh rips this to short. Shales is there. Gonzalez a step ahead of Pomeroy at second. And Bear Creek threatens, but Hill United, Adam Folkert and the crew will get out of there unscathed.
For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Matiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
Oh, we're doing, yes, new pitcher, Schofield, and new catcher. Are we on? We are on. Thank you. So new pitcher, Justin Schofield, new catcher, Mitch Pringle for Bear Creek Express. And I think part of this, Chris, is probably just to give Ryan Boland a bit of a break. He's likely to come up, or possibly to come up against Adam Folkard in the bottom of the 7th. So just let Ryan concentrate on the offensive side and have him be a little bit better rested. Just an extra 5 minutes of rest, if nothing else.
So Sean Cleary goes 6 innings, allows 4 runs. And he retired the last 8 batters he faced. Since this man, Tony Gonzalez, hit the go-ahead home run in the 4th.
Schofield's at the loss this morning against the Niagara Stompers, but can't really point any fingers at Schofield. The team didn't score many runs.
It's a tough way to win.
Yeah, you can't win when you don't score.
And spinner chopped out to short. On to first, retired, is Tony Gonzalez.
And that is Zach Berg, who's gone into short for Bear Creek. So some changes from Paul Chico McCart. Schofield out of Wolfville, Nova Scotia, or parts close to Wolfville.
White Rock, I believe.
There is a lovely little inn in Wolfville, the Blomidon Inn. Did a corporate event there a couple years ago. Just a lovely little spot.
Wolfville's actually a beautiful place. If you
It
visit
is.
Nova Scotia, you got to go to the Valley. Got to go to Wolfville, home of Acadia University. Lots of wineries. Yeah, it's quite nice. Look out! Share a little smile. Couple of buddies there.
Yeah, I don't know who was smirking more.
Might have been different if there had been contact made.
I suspect so.
Jason's gone from wearing that, Chris Pronger elbow pad to a little lighter version. Take another look. Very quick look. This one goes right back to the screen. And that may have been a cross-up. Pringle, I don't think he was close to catching that.
No, it barely hit the glove on the way through and had some real good pace to it. I don't know if you saw on Twitter there earlier in the week, Justin Schofield smashing a home run.
Off Randy frame?
I don't think it was off frame this time.
Sorry, Framer. Another one inside he'll twist away from.
And then just in some role reversal, Jason Hill picked up his 99th career victory in the St. John's League. So
it's all right.
Pitchers are hitting and hitters are pitching.
Probably his 400th start, so 99 is
been.
not bad.
Yeah, it may have been.
Jason's been in that league since he was 16. As he flares this in the left. Tough play for Bruce. He won't get there. Good job to take it on the hop. And Jason Hill's off the schneid here this afternoon.
Well, he crossed us up and went against type. That was an inside-out swing from Jason. You talked about him maybe making some adjustments, and certainly with that swing, taking it the opposite way.
Brings in Alan Pecker.
I'll have to update my black book on Jason. No longer dead pull every pitch.
Hill strayed from the bag. Didn't want to show us that blinding speed and try and leg out the pass ball. Might even got a stolen base. That didn't even get that far away. to ask about that one in the post-game press conference.
Come on, back up. Come on, baby, like you can.
Long look down at Jeff Ellsworth. Something on, maybe? Slap?
He's got that in the arsenal. Good call, coach. Hill caught in the middle, and Burke goes to first instead of second. Jason Hill was dead on arrival. Everybody's safe.
Well, Jeff Lyons, I think, lost that ball in the setting sun, perhaps, because it short hopped him and then popped up and hit him right in the chest. So that caught everybody by surprise.
Well, Hill was caught too, because on the pop-up, he was dead had Burke come up with it on the fly. So instead of a potential double play, you got guys on first and second with one down.
Back to the top of the shop, Shane Boland looking to get off the schneid himself.
I'm impressed that you picked up that slap bunt call.
Well, he had a long look down to Ellsworth, and it was a pretty intense stare. So, for me at least, it was obvious he was getting a sign.
Okay, back to the top for Shane Boland. Drop ball, strike one, and Boland, incredulous, thinks that was low. His head snapped back there like Cal Foote in Game 6 on the high stick. For all their broken-hearted Leafs fans, including the one standing next to me.
They was robbed.
Robbed. Had a 3-2 series lead. Rise ball inside, strike two.
There's always next year. That's the great thing about being a Leaf fan. There's always next year.
Yeah, they're certainly not going to sell the team. Schofield ahead 0-2 on Shane Boland, who was 0 for 3 coming in. Boland chases away. Strike three.
And you know there'll be some chirping rights on that.
An off-speed dipper there.
Yeah.
It wasn't a full changeup because it had a little bit on it. So Boland 0 for 4, and Matrone comes in behind him 0 for 3. Not many nights you'll see the Hill United lineup 0 for 7 as we get to this point in the top two. Hard drop, strike one. A lot of guys on both sides swinging at the first pitch tonight, Blair.
Yeah, I've noticed that. And, again, maybe it's just because it's early. The hitters feel they've got the advantage, but
in the
that
dirt.
has definitely been the case.
That'll move the runners to second and third. Chance to really crack this one open for Bruno Matrone with 2 down here in the 7th. Schofield living right around the knees on all these guys. You got to think you want to attack Matrone here because the other option is Brad Esgel standing on deck.
Well, pick your poison.
I know.
And yeah, you don't want to hang anything here, but
hard drop ball will work though. Schofield getting some swing and miss here.
2-2, and I think the drop has been moving for Schofield here tonight.
That's hard, too. We don't have a radar gun, but I can tell you it's coming in there with some pace.
Well, I think there were a couple of guys we would have liked to have had a radar gun on here this week. Schofield being one of them. Zach Pierce, who I'm told was just throwing BBs last night against the New York Gremlins. And I'd be curious to see where Adam is at times with when he gets dialed in.
That's a ball, nice scoop from Pringle behind the plate. Rise ball, foul back.
Good battle here as this game reaches the 2 hour and 15-minute mark with no end in sight.
Yes, we were supposed to have our next game at 8. We'll get it soon, though. Strike 3, down goes Matrone. Bear Creek still alive. They are still alive as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, where we'll send up Brandon Horn, Tyler Paulai, and Derek Mason.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every
Well, those are the guys you want.
every at bat? You need Lumberjack Sports. Focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product, Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca to put your game over the top.
Murphy's Fish and Chips is not only a great place to get some of the best seafood in Canada, but is also one of the best fastball sponsors in the game. Voted Nova Scotia's best fish and chips by Eastlink TV, Murphy's is a family institution since 1996 and a proud fastball sponsor of many Canadian and ISC championship teams. Open 7 days a week. Come join us for our famous English-style fish and chips or any of our daily specials. Murphy's is located at 88 Esplanade in Truro, Nova Scotia. We thank Dave T. Anderson and Murphy's Fish and Chips for their commitment to fastball and the broadcast program. Murphy's Fish and
Well, here we go. At the bottom of the 7th, the Bear Creek Express have cobbled together 7 hits in this one, Blair, but only 2 runs.
Yeah, just waiting for that key hit to happen. You know, Hill United got it with Tony Gonzalez. Thought maybe Bear Creek was going to keep the hammer down, but they haven't been able to do it.
Brandon Horn takes first pitch strike. Here in the bottom of the 7th, 2-3-4 coming up. Horn is 1 for 3. Also reached on a fielder's choice. Flares this one down the left side. Plenty of real estate, but Thomas Anoka unable to get there. And Fulker's ahead 0-2.
Leading off the bottom of the 7th for Bear Creek Express is the second baseman, number 3, Brandon Horn.
Just a quick glance behind us, and the Grand Prairie Pirates Niagara Snappers game still ongoing, so we're not the only one running late.
A whole lot of teams wondering about their playoff fate. We hope the picture clears up soon. Might have been a strike, but Matrone was off the plate as the high drop ball came inside. The Robots might have got that one.
I think Chris, if the score stays the same here, Hill United would play the loser of that game behind us.
Just low for a ball. Full count now on Brandon Horn. This is flared out into left, but Anoka positioned perfectly, makes the play.
Yeah, he came in 2 or 3 steps right away and then just threw out the anchor because I think he was worried he was going to overrun it. That ball, I thought it was going to sink more than it did, but it stayed up.
Well, if that gets over his head, Brandon Horn scores.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a football field behind him. First pitch strike to Tyler Paulai is 2 for 3. All those at-bats coming against the Hill United starter, Pablo Migliavaca, who went 4 innings before giving way to Adam Folkert. Who was quickly ahead 0-2 on the Bear Creek designated player.
So can they do it 2 weeks in a row? A week ago, Bear Creek rallied to score 5 off of Huemo Mata in the top of the 7th inning. Here it's the bottom, and they've got Adam Folkert to contend with. That would be quite a tale to tell if you could rally twice in a row against those two.
Paulai swing and a miss. They're going to have to do it with 2 outs. But don't need 5, just a mere 3 as we go.
They chase that drop ball down. I think Tyler Paulai would want that pitch back.
Well, a lot of Folkert's drop balls have missed. They haven't been in the zone, but he's getting the swing and miss. Whether that's by design, it very probably could be. Don't need to throw it in the zone if guys are going to miss it. And that's a first pitch drop ball for a ball on Derek Mason, the third baseman. Mason a strikeout victim last time around in his first at-bat against Folkert. He's going to poke this one to third. Great hand, Shane Bolin on to first. And the Hill United Chiefs will come from behind and take a 4-2 win over the Bear Creek Express.
Well, Tony Gonzalez, the hero here this afternoon for Bear Creek. Take that pitch from Sean Cleary a long, long way out to left field for that 3-run home run. Give credit to the Chiefs defense. Adam Folkert came on and threw well, but I think the defense story of the day for the Chiefs. They will likely be into a playoff game. I'm assuming it's going to be on this diamond. We'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out. Stay with us. We'll come back probably in about 20 minutes or so. Softball Premier TV, Facebook ISC Canada East. For Luciano Lafrano, for Chris Abbott, thank you for being with us. Come back and enjoy first round playoff action here at the Chiefs Challenge.
Bear Creek Express, there were 2 runs on 8 hits and no errors.
Again, I didn't